once you've passed that stage, I mean, what can you do as a third party? Can you do something? And if it's
accept it first.
First step.
First step to accept that the conflict now is not only about land and water. We can, and therefore we don't have to restrict ourselves to solving this problem of land and water. Yes, we have to do that, but it's not exclusive. It's not everything.
Yes.
We have also to find, and these are much more delicate and much more complex and take a lot of time, how to reduce this animosity, this hatred, this want of revenge, this downsizing, downgrading other people. How can you do that? Education, awareness building, patience, a lot of patience. Maybe sometimes we have to wait for this generation to go away before we have a generation that is not contaminated with this disease. That's why it is so important that we resolve conflicts as at the earliest stage as possible. Don't let them develop. They develop, they become more complex, they become more intractable, they become very difficult to really analyze properly. The solutions will not be, there will be immediate solutions that can be implemented, but they have other solutions, they will be long term. Long term, they need patience, need material resources, need education, awareness building, learning to live with each other again. And I remember there was a conflict between the Boran people in southern Ethiopia and their neighbors. And the Boran were sitting in the ecologically richer area, and so they were able to impose some of their demands. But when they signed a peace agreement among each other, 14 small groups with the Boran, this agreement stipulated that their children will go to boarding school together. One of the things that they agreed upon. They agreed on the resource sharing, temporary resource sharing, asymmetrical resource sharing. They agreed that they will not enter the mountains or this area, the Boran areas with all their animals. They will have to sell some of them and bring fewer animals with them than they had. And they also agreed that they will ask the central government to provide them with health care and education and veterinary services, etc. But they also said our children should go to a school together and live together. So without understanding the development of a conflict, they understood that their generation must accept that, must seek that the new generation should be free from contamination by befriending each other, learning with each other in boarding schools, and recognizing that they are all more or less the same human beings. And that is a good lesson, I think. That's a lesson we can take in consideration.